Hello Satnam, it's me, Shakti Sundari, and I'm back with you today for the next reading from the beautiful Radiance Sutras by Lauren Roche. A little bit late today, so apologies to anyone who is used to watching these earlier in the day. This is just when it's time to read. Every day as I've read these sutras, I have tuned into the right time and the right place to do so. I've never done it according to any kind of schedule or expectation. It's always been when it feels right and where it feels right, and suddenly it felt right, and there was no other time today when it did feel right. And I so love being in my flow in that way. This is how I love to live. This is how I love to work. This is how I love to operate, is by being tuned into my inner flow of being and going with that. That is when everything really works for me. And when anything or anyone takes me out of that, it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I've spent the whole of today resting and resting and resting. It was a very, very potent and powerful day yesterday, which is right before today's new moon in Leo, which is, I have a lot of Leo in my chart actually, and it's a very fiery energy, obviously, the lion, the Leo, and things kind of blew up in a big way yesterday, but in a perfect way, which I totally know, I totally acknowledge, I totally know that what happened yesterday was perfect. I guess, what do I want to say? I want to say that as sensitive beings, and even if we're not, just know that the transition of the planets, I'm not even that much, well, I'm not an expert at all in astrology, but I do know that the moon has an impact. I do know on my body and on my being and on my emotions. I know that because I feel it, and because I've been charting my menstrual cycle and how that's affected by the moon. So I know that the moon affects me. I feel it. I know it. So it's really good to be aware of these things happening around us in the wider celestial realms energetically. It's really good to know that and to be informed, so that we can bring more understanding to what's going on in our personal lives, because it's much more than just our personal experience that's happening. So yesterday was a full-on day for me, emotionally, in my relating, in my work. I really got to live a dream yesterday, a dream that I just seen in my mind's eye with the goddess, dancing the goddess, and it was made manifest yesterday. And that's just something I'm still haven't quite taken in, because so much else happened. And I facilitated 2 amazingly powerful transformational workshops yesterday, but in a way, you know, it's not me when that happens, it's the energy of the goddess, it's the energy of Shakti that works through me, that I'm stepping more and more into that place and more into that power that this vessel can open to. And in my second workshop, which was called Awakening Shakti, I was very aware of the presence with me, with us in the room, of my teacher who has recently passed, of which I spoke to a few days ago, Shakti Milan. It brought back so many memories of being in circles and workshops and groups that she was holding space for. And suddenly, as I stepped into holding space yesterday, it was like I was stepping up more, and she was inviting me to step up more in what I'm doing and what I'm holding space for, and trusting now that I can do this, and I am this, and this is what I'm called to do. And I recognized that, and so much happened in that circle of women. It was beautiful, profound, and so necessary in terms of healing for the feminine. And we sang a song that I learned when I was training with Shakti in South Africa. My voice was really croaky because I'd been screaming and shouting and talking all day, but we sang a beautiful song. And then I came home and I began to receive a healing transmission from Jamakati Mahatari-ji, a twin flame coach and guide, which is for healing the unconscious masculine within ourselves and the collective. And that, of course, was the perfect ending to everything that happened that day, the being in the feminine power and dealing with what I guess I have been experiencing in myself and in my relating as the unconscious masculine, and bringing forgiveness to that. Deep forgiveness. So I carried that healing transmission on this morning, and more tears were released, more tears, more heart opening, more healing, more forgiveness came, and it was very profound. So that has been my journey for these last 24 hours, so very full on. So I've just been resting today and just allowing and just being, sleeping, taking care and nurturing myself, and can just feel my energy beginning to slowly come back in now from that full-on intense experience, which is also beautiful and for which I am profoundly grateful. So quite a long preamble today, but I guess I'm sharing my journey with the readings and with the sutras and whatever's going on for me. So that is that. So we are on Yukti 57 today. I haven't really studied it in great depth. I've just read the Sanskrit through once beforehand, which I always do. But other than that, I don't know what's going to come as I read. So let's see. So the Radiance Sutras, the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Yukti verse 57. Here's the Sanskrit. Stula rupasya bhavasya stabdam drishtim nipatya cha achirena niradaram manakritva shivam vrajet. And again, because I like to read it twice. Stula rupasya bhavasya stabdam drishtim nipatya cha achirena niradaram manakritva shivam vrajet. And here is the English translation. Find something so enchanting to behold that you are transfixed, ravished. Allow yourself to be captivated. Gaze upon its form with the eyes of wonder. Attend to details. This shape, texture, these colors. How can something so beautiful possibly exist? With a steady gaze, melt into the field of space, embracing that form. At once, be at one with the Creator, who is looking through your eyes, loving creation. That's very beautiful. So here's our meditation practice today. Find something so enchanting to behold that you are transfixed, ravished. Allow yourself to be captivated. So, you know, there's so much beauty in the world. There's so much beauty all around us that a lot of the time we don't see, we don't notice, we take for granted, we overlook because we're so busy. We're so busy in our minds, we're so busy in our lives. And quite often, I would say many people, especially in the Western world, in the developed world, have deadened their senses. deadened their aliveness, actually. And yet it's in and through the senses and reawakening their sensitivity that we can once again become aware of the beauty in and all around us, the love in and all around us, because the beauty is love, and be awakened just by perceiving the very beauty of life. But we need to have the eyes to see. We need to have the eyes to see. And there's two ways that this can go. We need to cultivate the capacity to see with the eyes of wonder, with the eyes of innocence, like a child, once again, with a clear perspective, untainted and not fogged over by all this clutter that we then get as adults in our mind, all these conditionings and layerings of protection against pain, this layers of protection and cynicism that so many of us then grow as we become adults. So we need to take all of that off to see. And at the same time, that's an inner journey, that's inner work that is required for us to truly see the love and the beauty in life. Part of my affirmation as a priestess daily is, may I choose to see with the eyes of love. Yeah, it's an affirmation I actually make. So it's inner work, but also it works two ways. This is also something we can cultivate with practice. So we may not have that initially. So we could have the practice of trying, of practicing until we notice, of just picking any object and regarding it as something enchanting and beautiful until we actually see the perfection and the beauty in it. So find something so enchanting to behold that you are transfixed, ravished. Now when we're ravished, once again, that's a total experience. It's full on. There's no half-heartedness about being ravished. We allow ourselves to be penetrated, fully taken by awe. Allow yourself to be captivated. So let's not pretend to be grown up. Let's not pretend to be in control. Let's not pretend to know what's coming next. Let's not pretend to be experts. Let's not pretend we've seen it all before. Every moment is different. Every instant is different. There's perfection and beauty in so much around us. Allow yourself to be captivated. If you cannot be enchanted by life, how sad is that? How dead are you? Come, wake up. Allow yourself to be captivated. Gaze upon its form with the eyes of wonder. Just watch a child, just watch a young child at play. In life, everything is a source of fascination. Everything is a source of wonder and delight and exploration. That innocence is what we wish to return to. Gaze upon its form with the eyes of wonder. Attend to details as if you've never seen it before. This shape, texture, these colors. How can something so beautiful possibly exist? And that's, oh yeah, something else I wanted to say about love and beauty, which is that, of course, all of nature and so much around us is created with sacred geometry. You know, if we look into the shapes of crystals, of flowers, of petals, of tree trunks, of snowflakes, everything around us in nature is sacred geometry, is sacred perfection by design, and that sacred geometry expresses the resonance of love. Yeah, it expresses the resonance of love. And also, here's another thing to bring into taking this into the realm of love making. When we are with our beloved and we are, well, actually not even going to go into the love making, but when we are with our beloved, seeing them afresh every day, in every moment, beholding the wonder of their beauty anew. Things can get boring so quickly when we assume that we know someone, and when we assume we know everything about them and there's nothing new. Well, that's bullshit. We're new in every moment, and to be felt like the feeling of being taken for granted, it really deadens a relationship. And same goes then when making love. The beauty, and one aspect of tantric lovemaking practice, is to behold the beauty, to see the beauty, to see the divinity in the other, and to explore their every shape, their every texture, their every contour with wonder, with awe, with presence, with love, as if it is the first time, because it is the first time, and every time is different. If we follow the same old routine of touch here, touch there, without awareness, without sensitivity, without a sense of the newness, it's dead. Gaze upon its form with the eyes of wonder, and attend to details. How can something so beautiful possibly exist? And then, so there are two parts to this. It's a gazing meditation, a meditation of beholding, focusing upon with the eyes. Then it goes on to another stage. With a steady gaze, melt into the field of space, embracing that form. And once again, that reminds me of my art classes when we had to draw still life by drawing the space around the object rather than by drawing the object. It changes the perspective completely when we do that, when we perceive something in that way. Melt into the field of space, embracing that form. So first focus upon the form, behold all its beauty, wonder and awe. Then cast your gaze into the field of space, embracing that form. At once, be at one with the Creator, who is looking through your eyes, loving creation. And that is a reminder that we are all specks of the divine. Each of us is a tiny flash of love light of the divine, incarnated for a short period of time into this physical body. But that spark of light, that divine, is eternal. And when we practice meditations such as this one, it allows us to reconnect with that eternal light of which we're a part, and to remember the eternal light and love of which we are a part, and which in the forgetting can lead to that feeling of aloneness, that feeling of pain, that feeling of separation, that feeling that we are other to others. And yeah, these meditations are basically a way for us to remember our divine nature and live life as this speck of love light in this finite body, in this finite amount of time, in the remembrance of that. So both are brought together. So we're living as conscious souls in connection with the divine love light that we are, in remembrance of it. I'm just wondering what beautiful thing I could practice this meditation with now, because there's just so many beautiful things. I'm in my home, I'm not in nature right now, to cast my gaze upon. But even again, in the reading and the speaking to this verse, I feel this opening of love in my heart and this remembering in my being, which is already taking me into a different space, and I hope you're getting a sense of that too. So thank you to you all for being with me. I can see there's a few people there, but I haven't got my contact lenses in, so I can't read who it is. Thank you for being with me though, and Have a beautiful evening and speak to you again tomorrow. Much love. Sat Nam.